Hello, PEP scholars, welcome. Today is Friday and we're going to be doing our curriculum based test. We're going to be focusing on the stem and leaf plot. So stay tuned. In the meantime, though, here is our schedule of live classes. Hello, CSEC math students. I know you are busy preparing for your math tests and your CSEC exams coming up. I have a very important question to ask you. Do you like my new hat? Thank you. Now, another important question. Have you ever gotten a math problem wrong simply because of making one little mistake? I'm sure you have, as thousands of other students have. Now, in this series, we're going to be looking at the common mistakes that students make with all the topics in CSEC Math. We're going to look at the common errors, demystify everything, make sure you watch every video in this series so that you can avoid making those mistakes. So, stay tuned. Hello scholars, did you know that most times when students get problems wrong in mathematics is as a result of one single error or one mistake? Well, this is absolutely true, and we're going to be looking at the common errors that students make in the different topics in mathematics. If we know the errors beforehand, we can certainly avoid making them. Are you ready? Come on, take my hand. All right, so welcome back. And in studio with me so far, I have Coleman, I have Jer. Good evening, young men. I want to welcome all those in the chat.
Good evening, Miss.
Good evening, Coleman. Good evening, Jer.
Good afternoon, Miss.
Hi. Welcome, I'm seeing Nia. I'm seeing Maceline, the two early birds. And of course, the other scholars are waltzing in as we speak. So we're going to be looking at the stem and leaf plot. And we're going to be analyzing stem and leaf plot diagrams, as well as we're going to be constructing stem and leaf plot diagrams from raw data. So let me share the screen and we can go right into that. All right, so you are looking at a stem and leaf template, not yet constructed. So the numbers on the right, they are what we would refer to as the raw data. So information collected that represent some kind of amount, some kind of quantities. For example, so if you're talking about different ages of different, let's say you went to a concert and you were checking the ages of the persons coming into the concert, you would record all the ages. That would be the raw data. Or if you were at a shopping mall and you were counting how many green cars, how many red cars, how many white cars, and so on. Right, so as with any other type of graph, the stem and leaf plot should have a title, it should have a key, and so on, right? we're going to focus this evening on actually just making sure we plot the actual diagram properly, filling in the raw data. So I might not necessarily give you the title of each one. We really just want to focus on making sure that we put in the correct amounts, but just bear in mind when you're plotting your stem and leaf, you should put your title just as you would any other graph. You should put your key. We're going to have the key down the bottom. I'm going to explain to you what the key for the stem and leaf plot is. Right, but I'm telling you from now, you're not going to see a title for all of them, but just remember that the stem and leaf plots that you would encounter would have titles, and if you're asked to construct a stem and leaf plot, you would be expected to put in the title to indicate what the data is showing. Welcome, Rodriguez. Welcome, Nyla, Shonde. Here's the link for those who are asking. All right, so looking at this plot, so what we would do is we have the stem on the left and we have the leaf on the right, and the stem represents the first digit in the numbers. So it's a way of, welcome Legendary, good evening. It's a way of writing numbers without having to repeat the first digit each time.
Good evening.
Good evening, Legendary. So all the numbers that have the same first digit, they would go in the same row, and you just have to write the stem once, and you'd know that every other number that appears in the leaf, those digits go with the stem. For the single digit numbers then, and by the way, you would see a key. Let me show you. So this key, for example, says wherever you see a 1 in the stem and a 4 in the leaf, you are to combine them, and it means 14. Likewise, the 0 and the 1, 0, 1 is the same as 1. So 1, 3 would be 13, 1, 4 would be 14, 2, 1 would be 21. So when you're looking at these numbers here, don't look at them as the digits that you're seeing. Look at them as combined with the stem. That's very important. So this is not 7. This number here actually represents 27. This number represents 39, not 9. This is not 0. This is 20, which is 20. This is not 1, it's 41. So we are to combine each stem with each digit in the leaf to get the different numbers. So therefore, if we are to put these digits in the plot, we would look first for the single digit numbers. So we have 9, 4, 3, 3, 8, 2, 7, 5, 6. So let's put those in. So those would start with a 0 on the stem. And we would try to get them in order, numerical order. So we would have 3, 4, 5, 6. So we write that. We'd have a 3, 4, 5, 6. Then what? 7, 8. Oh, we have 2 3s. There are 2 3s. So 2 threes. So 2 threes, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. 7, 8, 9. All right. Then now we'd go to the 2-digit numbers. Welcome, John and Amari.
Good evening, Miss. Miss, the camera isn't turning on for some reason. Can you see me, Miss?
Okay. No, I'm not seeing you. Hi, Rodriguez. Welcome.
Miss,
I'm
there's
not seeing you at
something
all.
wrong.
I'm not seeing.
Miss, I'm not seeing the
Hmm?
one day. Miss, I'm not. Miss, I don't know. Miss, I don't get how you get to 11 and 26, 35.
We don't reach those
Because I'm
yet.
only seeing 0. Miss, I'm only seeing 0.
You're only seeing
0
0
and 3.
alone?
Miss, I've seen 0 at the stem. Not leave. I've seen 3, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
That's all we have, John.
I messed
Okay.
it up. Good evening, Miss.
Good evening. Good evening, Rodriguez. That's all we have in John.
Okay, Miss.
All right. So for the benefit of those who are just coming in, let's just do a quick recap of what we've had so far. We're saying that the stem and leaf is used to represent data, information that has been collected in numerical form. We would, just as with any other graph, we would put the title of the plot. So for example, ages of persons at a concert, number of cars at the shopping mall, whatever the data represents. We would put the title of the plot. We would also have a key, and I was showing the scholars that the key looks something like this, where it tells you what the stem and leaf represents. So this key means, so wherever you see a 1 in the stem, a 4 in the leaf, you have to combine them, and it's really 14. So I was explaining that these digits over here don't represent just the digits. They represent a combination of the stem and the digits. So each one, so this is 0, 1, which is still 1. But the 3 here represents not 3, but 13, because it's 1, 3, 1, 4. This represents 14, 16. This doesn't represent 7, it represents 2, 7, which is 27. This is not 0, this is not 1. This is 20, 21, 39, 43. We combine the leaves with the stems. So that's what we have done so far. And then what I was about to do now is to plot the stem and leaf, plot some numbers that we have there on the plot. Somebody just left or got kicked off, I'm not sure. So let's see. So we'll go back to this diagram, right? So we had finished with the 1-digit numbers. So we had the 9, the 4, the 3, the other 3, the 5, the 7, the 8. Oh, we left out the 2. All right. So a 2 should be there. And the 6. So then now, the 2-digit numbers starting with a 1. So where the stem is a 1, we have 11, 12, another 12, and 16. So that's 11, 12, another 12, and 16. So cross those out. Oh, and there's also 19. So remember, we're combining the leaves with the stem. For the digits in the 20s, we have 20, 22, and 26. So we'll put a 0 for the 20, a 2 for the 22, and a 6 for the 26. And the 30s, we'd have 31 and 35. So we'd put a 1 for the 31 and a 5 for the 35. All right, so if you understand so far, just type I understand. So far, so good. Those in the chat, if you understand so far, just give me an indication. Say, Miss, I get it. Miss, I understand. Miss, I'm on board. Anything like that. So the first set of activity we're going to do, we're going to look at some stem and leaf plots that have been done already, and we're going to find 5 things. We're going to use the information for each of them to find 5 things. Well, is it 5? No, 4 things. We are going to find the mode, the mean, the median, and the range. For each of the stem and leaf plots in the first set of activities, we're going to find the mode, the mean, the median, and the range. So let me hear which of my scholars can explain for me what do we mean by the mode.
Me, Miss.
Rodriguez.
The number that repeats the most.
All right, so the most frequent number, the one that's there the most, that is the mode. Okay. I didn't cross these out. All right. So who can tell me what's the mean?
Me again, Miss?
Let me see if anybody else wants to go. Anyone else? All right, go ahead, Rodriguez. What's the mean?
When you add up all the numbers and then divide it by the amount of numbers they are.
So what's the other name for the mean?
Average.
The average. Okay. So the mean or the average is when we add all the numbers and divide it by the amount of numbers. And what is the median? Go ahead.
The median is the middle number, and if there are 2 middle numbers, add them together and divide it by 2.
All right, but what do we need to do in order to determine what the middle numbers are?
For one, if what I do, I cross them out at each end.
Even before you do that,
Count how many numbers are there?
no, there's something you need to make sure you do before you start checking how many are on either side. What do you need to do? Does anyone know? In order to find the median or the middle number, or maybe there are 2 middle numbers, as Rodriguez said, and we'd have to add those 2 numbers and divide by 2. But before we do that, we have to make sure that we put the numbers in order. That's very important. So
Mommy, I call now.
if the numbers are not yet in order,
Order.
we have to rearrange them and
Ooh.
make sure they're in numerical order, and then we see which one or ones fall in the middle. All right, so Nia was saying the most recurring number, the middle number when arranged. But Nia, you're not telling me which is which. So remember, when you're giving your answers, if there is no number to the question, you have to say you have to be specific what you're answering. And how about the range? What's the range?
When you no, when you subtract the smallest number and the biggest number.
All right. So the range is the difference between the smallest and the biggest numbers. Welcome, Coleman. Good evening. Can you hear me, Coleman? All right. Seems there's something wrong with his mic. So let's proceed then. All right. So for number one, so remember we said we're finding the median, the mode, the mean, the range. So looking at this stem and leaf plot, what would be the mode? What's the mode of that stem and leaf plot?
Um, mm, yes, I see even the numbers repeating. Uh, Like 1 and 20 and 39 and 43.
Okay, say that again for me.
I see, yes, I see equal modes, miss, like 1 and 20, 39 and
So
43.
we have two ones, we
Two
have two
20s,
20s,
two 39s,
two 39s, and two
and two
43s.
43.
All right, so the point here is you can have more than one modes. So each of these numbers is the mode because we all have them two times and the other numbers only once. So bear that in mind. They can have one mode, two modes, three modes, four modes, any number of modes. Once they occur the same number of times and it's more than the other numbers. So what would be the median?
It's a stress now.
What's the median?
Give me a set list.
All right. Anybody else want to chip in? So remember, we're saying the median is the middle number once we make sure that they have been arranged in order. So looking at the stem and leaf plot, are the numbers already in order? Because it isn't always in order now, so we have to look. So we have the ones, then 13, 14, 16, 21, 27. So they are in order as is. So what we can do is count how many numbers there are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 17 numbers. When there are an odd set of numbers, we'll only have one number in the middle. So 17 divided by 2, that's 8,
I
remainder
found it,
1.
miss.
So we should have 8 numbers on each side. So 1, 2,
Yes, miss.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that means 21 is the mode. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So
The
21
median
falls in
is not the mode.
the median, sorry, the median. Sorry about that. So the median is the middle number. So 21 has 8 numbers to the below it and 8 numbers above it. So what would be the range? So the range is the difference between the biggest and the smallest.
Miss 48,
So the range would be 48 minus 0.
0. It is still 48.
Right. So the range, that would be 48 minus 0, which gives us the same 48. And now we're going to find the mean or the average. So we're going to add up all the numbers. And since there are 17 numbers, add up all the numbers and divide by 17. So we're adding, so 1 plus 1, 2,
2,
plus 13, that's 15,
50,
plus 14,
29,
29, plus 16,
35,
mm,
45,
45, plus 20 plus 20 is 40, so that's 85, plus 21, that's
100.
106. All right, so right here we're at 106.
Gotta get that mark
Add,
done.
add that with the other numbers quickly. So with 106, you're going to add 27, 39, 39, 41, 43, 43, 47, 48. So I'll give you a little time to work that and post your answers. So we got to 106. So you can set out 106 and add 27, 39, 39, 41, 43, 43, 47, 48. Type your answers, whatever you get. Hi, Sharian. Shamar, welcome, Shamar. Coleman, test your mic. Test your mic for me. Go ahead, Coleman, test it. Are you speaking? Type in the chat. All right, let me try Madison. Let me try Madison's mic. Hi, Madison, can you hear me? Madison, good evening.
Miss Annie,
Good evening, Miss. Can you hear me?
I'm hearing you. I'm not seeing you though.
Okay, just 1 second. Let me turn to my camera.
All right. So for this one, when we added those numbers, we got 433. And
Miss,
when we
I'm
divide
dividing
it,
it by 17 now.
pardon me?
I'm dividing it by 17 right now.
All right, so divide it and tell me what you get. So it's 433 divided by 17, since it's 17 numbers. All right, in the interest of time, we can always double check this later. So I got 25.47. What I want you to get right now is the concept, the basic principle, um, and you can always go back and double check your working out. All right, so for number two, so remember we're finding the mode, the median, the range, and the mean. So looking at this stem and leaf, what is the mode? What's the most frequent number here? Look at it and tell me what the mode is. Type your answers or indicate to me. What is the mode of that set of numbers?
Miss, I am not seeing any
Madison?
numbers.
Pardon me? You're not seeing the numbers, Madison?
No.
You're not seeing the screen?
Well, Miss, now my computer is freezing up.
Oh, okay. All right, so the mode is the most frequent number. So looking at the stem and leaf for number two, what is the mode? Coleman, you can type your answer in the chat and I'll read it out for you since your mic isn't working. Other scholars, you can type your answer if your mic isn't working, or you can indicate to me what your answer is. So I'm seeing Nia. Nia is saying 22, and that is correct. So if we look at the leaf, we see a repetition of the 2, 2, 2, 2. But remember, this doesn't represent 2. We have to add the digit to it. So each of these represents 22, which is the mode because it's the most frequent. All the other numbers, we only have one of them. So 22 is the mode. All right, what is the median? What's the middle number? First, let's check if they're in order. Do we have any bigger number before a smaller number? So these two are not in order. So we can rearrange them. We can put the 3 first and then the 4. These are in order. These are not in order. So we need to put the 1, then the 3, then the 4. All right, so now everything is in order. Let's count how many numbers there are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 numbers. So there are an even set of numbers, which means two numbers are going to fall in the middle, and we should have what, seven
What?
seven on either side and two numbers in the middle. So let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And so these two would fall in the middle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 22 and 25, we need to add them and divide by 2. So that's 47 and 47
Um,
divided by 2.
Miss 23.5.
Correct, 23.5. So that's the medium. How about the range? So the range is the difference between the biggest and smallest. The biggest number here is
Miss
54,
53. 1 from 54 is
right? So we're
53.
going to take the 1 from the 54 to get the range. So the range is
The
54.
science literally giving us the answer. Before the 4, you have the 3.
Pardon me? Say that again. Say that again. The mean, the
Yeah.
mean, we need to add the digits up. So we're going to add 1 plus 3 plus 4 plus 20 plus 21 plus 22 plus 22 plus 22 plus 25. So just take your time and add them up for me and tell me how much you get. So the single digit ones and the easier ones, you can just work those out in your head. And then you can set aside.
Miss, what did you,
So to get the
Miss,
mean
what did you say? 20,
for the,
what did you
we're
say? 22 plus 22 plus 22 plus 25?
47,
That's what you said.
47 divided by 2. So it's 1 plus 3 plus 4 plus 20 plus 21. All right, so add those up quickly. Let me see if you get the same thing that I get. Oh, okay. All right. So Nia is correcting me on something. So, right. So what I'm calling 1 is actually 11. I was looking at it like a 0. All right, because it's the first one. Okay, so this is 11. Thanks, Nia. So that's 11 plus 13 plus 4. Okay, so we should actually subtract 11 from the 54.
My bad.
So
43, Miss.
there's 11, right? So we should, thanks, Nia. Thanks a lot. So this should be 43. All right. Okay, so when we're adding now for the
Give me tablet.
so we'll have 11 plus 13 plus 14 plus 20 plus 21 plus 22. All right, I'm getting 486. So 486. And we're going to divide that by 16 because it's 16 of them. So 16 into 48 goes 3 times. 16 into 6 is 0. And that's what 6 over 16, which is 3 over 8. And that is the mean or the average. You could put it in decimal form also if you want. So we have two more plots to do like this as we've been doing, and then we're going to construct some of our own using the raw data. So let's go to those ones. Number 3. So remember, so the key says where you see 30 and 0, it means we combine them to get 300. So this is 300, this is 305, 307, 313, 329, 334, 335, 338. What will be the mode for this set? What's the most frequent?
Miss, there's no mode.
All right, so there's no mode, and that's another point to make. Sorry, that's another point to make. You can have no mode. It can be a case where there's just no number that occurs more frequently than the other. So in this case, there is no mode. What is the median, the middle number? So looking at them, they are in order. We don't have any bigger one in front of a smaller one. So they're in order, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 numbers. So we know we're going to end up with 2 numbers in the middle. So we should have 3 on either side. So that's 3 and 3. So in the middle, we have 313 and 329. So we need to add those.
It's gonna get 642.
And divide that by 2.
300 and 321.
All right, so the median is 321. So what's the range? What's the difference between the smallest and the biggest numbers? The biggest number is 338. The smallest number is 300. So 338 minus 300. That
Miss,
is 38. So the range is 38. All right, and the mean or the average. So add up all the numbers and divide by how many numbers we said there were? 8. 8 numbers. So add 300 plus 305 plus 307, 313, 329. All right, so what are you getting for that one? Are you hearing me? I'm seeing some persons in the chat saying that they're not hearing me.
Yes, Miss, I'm hearing you.
Scholars in the chat, can you hear me? Those on YouTube and Facebook, are you hearing me? Madison, you hearing me now? So I got 2,561. Sorry. 2,561. And I'm going to divide that by 8. So that gives 320.1.
30.
Gonna leave it at one decimal place. 320.1. For number 4, some of them are not in order. Just looking at them, I'm seeing that some are not in order. This row is not in order, so we need to put the 1, then the 4, then the 6. All right, everything else is in order. The mode, was the most frequent number there. We have two
Miss
eights. We have
8,
two eights,
47, if
two
that's 47,
47s, and two 60s, right?
60.
So we
Yes,
have three
miss.
modes: the eights, 47, and 60
And the
bases.
60.
All right. The median, or the middle number,
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14.
so there are 14 numbers. That means two numbers going to fall in the middle with 6 on each side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 47 and 47. So the median is
94.
47. It's the same digit.
47 plus 47
You don't have to do that because
plus
they're the same.
47 divided by 2.
You're gonna get back 47 because the numbers are the same. So if you add them and divide by 2, you'll get back the same thing. All right, what
Yes,
would be the
miss.
range? The range would be the difference between the 77, which is the biggest
And
number,
2.
and the 2.
Easiest question ever.
So the range is 77 minus 2,
75.
and the mean now.
Uh,
So this is the tough part where we have to do all the addition. So we have to add 2 plus 8 plus 8 plus 11 plus 14 plus 16. All right, so take your time and add them up. And we said they were what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14 numbers. So we're adding 2 plus 8 plus 8 plus 11 plus 14 plus 16, 47, 47, 49, 60, 60, 64, 77. So I'm getting 539, and divide that by 14. So that gives 38.5.
and you round it up, you will get 39.
Yeah. So if we were to round it off, we get 39. All right. So that first batch was where we we were given the stem and leaf plots already done, and we we were finding four different things. the mode, the mean, the range, and the median. Rodriguez, remind us again the definition for each of those.
Yes, miss. The mode is when you add up all the numbers and the amount of numbers are there, you divide it by that.
That's the mode, you sure?
Oh, sorry, that's not the mode. The number that repeats the most.
So the most frequent number, the one that occurs most, that's the mode. What's the median?
The median is the middle. First, you have to make sure that all the numbers are in order.
Mm-hmm.
And the middle number is the median. And if there are two numbers in the middle, you add it up and divide it by 2.
Okay.
The
And
range,
what's the range?
the range, which is normally easiest, so is
Mm-hmm.
the difference between the smallest number and the largest number.
Okay. And what's the mean or the average?
When you add up all the numbers and divide it by the amount of numbers are there.
Okay. Excellent. Now, let me remind you again. So we're saying that the stem and leaf plots, they would have there you would have see the key. The key tells you how to interpret the stem and leaf. So 3, 2 means you combine the stem with the leaf to get 32. So on the stem and leaf plot, you would see your key. You would also see the title of the stem and leaf. So it would tell you what each number represents. So what we're going to do now is we are going to use the raw data to
Make a seven.
construct the stem and leaf, right?
Yes.
So here we go. So what do you think these numbers could represent? Think of a title. What do you think those numbers could represent? Each of you tell me what you think could be a nice title for this stem and leaf.
Miss, can you repeat that? I wasn't hearing you for a sec.
Right. So I'm saying we don't have a title up there, and I'm saying that we should have a title. I'm asking you, what do you think could be a title for this stem and leaf? What do you think those numbers up there could represent?
I don't know, miss.
Can't think of a title?
Yeah, miss.
All right. How about if we ask each student to tell us?
Miss Coleman says the stem and leaf fusion number table.
No, I want a title that the numbers would be telling us what. So for example, number of books borrowed by students since the
Oh,
start of the year, right? So let's say we ask the students in a particular class, how many books did you borrow from the school library since January? And one person said, I borrowed 12 books. Somebody else said, I borrowed 3 books. I borrowed 9 books. You get what I'm saying?
yes, miss.
Yeah. Or we could say, tell us how many how many green cars you saw today. And each
See,
person is going to tell you how many green cars or how many black cars they so suppose it says, students, when you're going home, I want you to count how many black cars you see on the road on the way home. Coleman said the number of bananas I eat per day. All right, it could be. So we say, all right, students, we know you love bananas, ripe bananas. So tell us, how many ripe bananas do each of you eat per day? And all the students will tell you the number, right?
one person eating 30.
So, well, you have persons who really love bananas.
Like me.
And Coleman is saying, Miss, I eat a lot. If Jaden was here, Jaden would tell you he eats a lot.
Me too, miss, but me still slim. I don't know how.
Your metabolism is fast. You have a fast metabolism, so you use up the energy that you get from your food. You use it up very quickly. See, Coleman is saying a lot, right? All right. So let us put this raw data into the chart, into the plot.
Miss, in the stem you have a zero first.
So we'd have a zero and we deal with our one digit numbers, right?
Yes, miss. One,
With a one, the two,
two, the
three.
three, the four, the nine.
So one, two,
No, the
three.
one, the three, four, six, nine.
There's a five too.
Four,
Four,
five,
five,
six,
six, and
nine.
nine. So let's cross them out. So the one, the two, the five, the four, the three, the nine, the six.
Okay, that's all.
In the teens now, so the
We
ones
got
that will
the
start
one.
with the one, we'd
Got
have what?
11,
11,
next
12.
12,
So one for 11, two for 12.
two 15s,
So we need a five and a five for the two 15s.
which is a range. Remember,
And
load.
that's it, right? For the 20s,
We have a 3.
we have a
No,
one first for the 21 and a three for the 23. And for the
for the
30s,
3, a 0.
we just have a zero. Okay. All right. And that's our stem and leaf plot. It's easy, don't it?
Yes, miss. And I want to stake out that John and Amari are on holiday.
Yeah, I was wondering about that. Why are John and Amari saying that they're on holiday? I don't understand that. What's that about, John and Amari? How this holiday thing go?
You look at some KFC.
It's not holiday yet. I don't know how they're on holiday.
Okay. Okay, Miss, nothing's happening here. Miss, we could answer some of the
So why you
questions.
guys?
But,
Pardon me.
Miss, we could answer
So
some of the questions.
so why didn't
Miss,
you?
our internet keeps Miss, our internet acting up,
Oh,
but connecting to a hotspot.
oh, okay. Madison is having problems too, and Coleman, we can't hear Coleman either.
But my internet is
Miss, I can hear.
perfect. John and Amari, read the chat.
Okay, so let's not get distracted. So let's go to the next one.
Jesus, please,
No, 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 sir. So we have two more to go. What number was this I wrote? I think that's supposed to be a five. Okay. So here we have some numbers. The single digit ones would be what?
0,
Zero, zero.
0, 3,
So 0, 0, 3, 7. How about the teens?
let me scan it.
We just have 13 and
13 and
14.
14.
So we need a 3
No,
for the
miss. For
13.
the ones, we left out a 6 at the very bottom.
Oh, oh. So I need to
Take away the 7.
take out the 7. So put a 6 and then 7. All right, so we have 13 and 14. For the 20s,
Scanning.
what do
We
we
have
have for the 20s?
25 twice,
Three times.
thrice,
So we have 325s,
and then 127.
127. For the 30s,
We have a 31,
31, 32,
32,
37,
37,
31, 32,
32, 37,
37. For the 40s,
40,
we have 40,
44,
44,
44, 46,
46, 48,
0468,
40, 44,
46,
46, 48. And for the 50s,
we have 52 and 56.
52 and 56. All right, so we have one to go. All right. Okay, so let's do the last one.
And I already figured out the last one by just looking at it.
All right, so let's go. All right, so we have so the zeros,
Then a
we have
0,
0,
then a 1, then
1,
a 2, then a 4,
2, 2 fours,
3 4s, Miss
right, 3
3, one at the very top,
fours, okay, 3 fours,
and 1 5, and then a 7,
5,
and then a 7,
and
and then a 8.
5, 7, and 8. All right. For the teens,
We have 13, 17, and no, 13,
13,
16,
16,
17,
2
and
17s. So 13, 16, 17.
16,
For
17,
the 20s, we have 23
23,
and 29. So 23, 29.
and for the
And for
30s,
the
we have 30,
30s, we have 30 and
38.
38. 30 and 38. All right, so for this last one, let's do what we did for the first batch and find the mode, mean, median, and range. Okay.
Miss, I already found the mode.
All right. So tell me the mode for the batch.
4,
How many fours do we have?
3,
So we have 3 fours. We have 2 17s, but we have 3 fours. So the 4 is the mode. What's the range?
the range is 38.
So
0 from
38 minus 0.
38.
All right. So the range would be
38. Here comes the addition part.
the highest minus the lowest, which is 38. And what's the median? The middle number. What's the middle number?
Back to the numbers, please, miss.
How many numbers are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 numbers.
6 on each side.
No, 8 on each side.
Se- oh,
8
yes,
on each
17.
side. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
3.
8. 8 is the median.
Oh, yes, it's 8.
All right, so 8 is the median. And the mean or the average.
Addition.
So let's take our time and add up those numbers now.
Miss, add up all the
So
numbers.
we're adding all the numbers and dividing by 17. So 1
Miss by 70. By 70,
is
no?
17 numbers. It's 17 numbers. 1, 2, 4, 5, 7, 8, 13, 16, 17. Tell me what you get.
Miss, I got 12.8 some numbers.
What you got as a total first?
Some number in the, I don't even remember. 200 and something, I think.
So I got 218 when I added them. 218
Divided by 17, which I got.
divided by 17.
I got 12.8.
12.8. All right. So John, now that you guys got on,
What is it, Miss?
now that you guys are on, explain for me what's the mode, the median, the mean, and the range.
Okay, so the
So,
mode is the number that occur that is more frequent. The median is the number that is in the middle. First, you have to put them in order from least to greatest. And
mm-hmm,
when they're in order, you find the middle number. If it's odd, if the amount of numbers that are there are odd, so that you have one odd number.
mm-hmm,
I mean one median. And if it's
mm-hmm,
even, you'll have two median, and then you have to add them and divide it by two. The range
mm-hmm,
is the greatest number from the smallest number. That's how you get the range.
mm-hmm. No, the smallest from the greatest.
Yes, the smallest from the biggest.
And the mean,
Okay. Oh yes, this the mean is when you add up all the numbers, and when you add up all the numbers, you count how many numbers are there, and then you divide the amount. When you add up all the numbers, you divide it by how many numbers are there. That's how you get the mean.
okay. Amari,
Bravo.
Amari, you go now. Tell me what they are. What's the mode?
Miss,
Amari,
miss the mode. Miss, can you hear me?
yeah, go ahead.
Miss the mode is like it's like the number that acquires occurs the most.
Occurs.
Yes, miss.
Mhm. And what's the
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 medium.
median? Not hearing you,
And then
Amari.
miss, miss,
Mm-hmm. What's the
miss,
median?
it's when you put all of the numbers together.
When you put all of the numbers together.
Miss, it's when you put all the numbers from least to greatest, miss.
That's all. And that's all. You just need to
When you
line them up from
find
least
the
to
middle
great.
number. No,
So
miss,
suppose
when you find the middle number.
suppose two numbers are in the middle. Suppose when you do that, two numbers end up in the middle.
Would miss, you would add them by two, miss. Wait.
All right. What's the
Miss,
range?
add them, and then you would divide them, Miss. You would divide them by two.
Okay, what's the range? What's the range, Amari?
The range is the range like the least, and then and to the greatest, Miss.
What do you do with the least and the greatest?
Miss, it's least from greatest, Miss.
Oh, okay. All right. And what's the mean or the average? Are you hearing me, Amari? What's the mean?
Miss a little birdie is telling me,
When when you add up the numbers and then you divide them by the numbers that there.
Okay. All
Miss,
right. There's a little birdie.
there's a little birdie telling me that John is up in a mar.
It's his brother. He can help him.
You are so lucky.
He's his brother. He can help him. All right. So that's
Yes.
it for the stem and leaf scholars.
Miss help me. Miss just telling
Hmm? Okay. So you're saying you're not getting any help. Even if you were, that would be fine, Amari. All right, scholars. So that's it for the stem and leaf. I hope if you have never met it before, you understand it now. And for those who already understood it, you got the chance to do some revision. Several scholars were having technical difficulties, but we managed to pull through. So I will see you on Monday, where we dive into the ability test again. And
Yeah.
next week, our grade 6 PEP scholars will have their ability test exam.
Yes,
So
miss.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we're going to do straight ability tests. All right. So I'll see you guys on Monday.
Yes, miss. Bye, miss.
Bye. Take care.
Same here.
oh bye Miss.
All right, scholars. So here's our schedule of live classes. Write these down so you don't miss any. Hello, CSEC math students. I know you are busy preparing for your math tests and your CSEC exams coming up. I have a very important question to ask you. Do you like my new hat? Thank you. Now, another important question. Have you ever gotten a math problem wrong simply because of making one little mistake? I'm sure you have, as thousands of other students have. Now, in this series, we're going to be looking at the common mistakes that students make with all the topics in CSET Math. We're going to look at the common errors, demystify everything. Make sure you watch every video in this series so that you can avoid making those mistakes. So stay tuned. Hello scholars. Did you know that most times when students get problems wrong in mathematics is as a result of one single error or one mistake? Well, this is absolutely true, and we're going to be looking at the common errors that students make in the different topics in mathematics. If we know the errors beforehand, we can certainly avoid making them. Are you ready? Come on, take my hand.